So I'm back out here at the power steering system. I was getting the pipe made up and I had to wait for the power steering cooler to come in. So I have them there now, I'll show them to you. So this here is the power steering cooler off a Jaguar. I'm going to be mounting that in there. It's going to fit in quite nicely there. I might have to bend the ends a little bit to get the hoses through, but it's going to be perfect. That's obviously when the intercooler comes out, it's going to be fitting in that gap there. I also got the pipe made, which has taken me from the fitting I welded on to the power steering pump, which is there, back to the reservoir here. What I didn't realise is quite how long these are from here to here, so I'm going to have to do some adjustments. I'm going to have to cut that and actually move that back because it won't fit with the intercooler pipe. So that's what I'm going to get at there this evening. So that's the power steering reservoir out, and it's that gap there, so it's sitting out a nice bit out of the bottle itself. So I'm going to actually cut that off and move it back in and weld it back up again, and that's going to give me at least 5mm, which should be just enough to get that pipe to fit in. Trying to get so many bits and pieces into that corner. Woohoo! So that's it welded into place. I'm actually really happy with that weld. That's the best weld I've done in ages. I don't get to do a whole lot of TIG welding, so it's nice when I get to try. So that's the reservoir back in. The pipe is fitted up there now, and we have loads of room. I can just about stick my finger in there, it's brilliant. That's the feed pipe from the reservoir, bringing the power steering fluid down to the pump, and that's perfect. It's in out of the way. That pipe was a push on with Jubilee clips, and it was constantly leaking on me, so that should be well sorted now. Next job is to take out the intercooler. We'll see if we can get the brackets made up and get that power steering cooler mounted up. This is where this week's episode and last week's episode kind of merge. You can see all of a sudden that the power steering pump is gone. The dummy block is out, subframes, brackets, all that kind of stuff has gone out of the engine bay. The reason that I stopped to do that was when I was fitting the power steering cooler, I found that the cross member under here is actually bent up. So I just wanted to make sure that before I welded on these brackets that I made for the cooler, that this wasn't going to be an issue. It wasn't going to cause me a problem with suspension. So on further inspection, that seems to be fine, so I'm going to get on with welding these brackets on. Awesome, so I have the cooler just fitted back in there to make sure everything works. I'm going to take it back out, that's working perfectly. paint up those brackets, get them all ready. But that's kind of as far as I can go now with the power steering system. I have everything there in place, ready to bolt back in when I get the front end. So join me next week where I'll be cutting the subframe, modifying, moving the rack forward, and going to rebuild the whole front end and get that back all together. So thanks very much for watching, and we'll talk to you again next week. Cheers.